Oh, fluoride. Poison.
Yeah, it's,
Brush your teeth
you know,
with
it says
fluoride is terrible.
have fluoride for your teeth and it makes them brighter and it's good for your teeth. It's not. In England, they have the highest rate of fluorolysis, which is a disease from too much fluoridation. Why? Because they drink a lot of tea. Tea, leaf, has fluoride in it. So when you drink a lot of tea, especially black tea, that's the worst one, you actually empower yourself with fluoride, sodium fluoride. Because there's good fluoride and there's bad fluoride. There's good and bad in everything. Sodium fluoride is the one that's not good for you. That's the one that calcifies the pancreas and makes you dumb. That's what they used during the Second World War to make the people submissive to orders. And that's what they use as rat poison as well, sodium fluoride.
Oh my God.
If you look at a toothpaste on the back, it says do not swallow. If you swallow, visit the control center right away. But they don't tell you that when you drink tap water, which contains the same amount of fluoride as toothpaste. Why? What did you think about it?
So magnesium oxide, is it like Epsom salt is not oxide, it's some other magnesium?
Yes.
Is that good too?
Yes, Epsom salt, if you want to drink some, or bath yourself, put some in your bath, your skin absorbs it and
Gives
you
you more
detox,
magnesium.
from accumulated waste and things.
Because I know it gives you
It
diabetes.
can be quite invasive. You might go to the bathroom a few times, but it's a great eliminator and detox.
But you wouldn't put that in the water to pure, like that oxide, you wouldn't do that with that.
Which,
With the salt, with the Epsom salt, you couldn't do that.
actually I do.
Really?
I did, not anymore, but to detox myself, I did put the Epsom salt in the water and to stir it and then drink it. Powerful. You're gonna be ready. You're gonna be ready. There's another way you can actually do less invasive. Everybody have cactus around their house. This is good for you. I drink that every day. Eat it, drink it, put on my hair. This is my gel. Put on my face. It's an instant face lift. It gives you nothing. And this is, I live by the beach, so I found this. So every time I go run, I grab one of these and I eat it and I put on my skin.
What does it taste like?
A little bitter, but you get used to it. You love it.
Does it feel good in your stomach?
This is great. It detox, it lubricates the pipe system because the digestive system is nothing else than pipes. So it lubricates, helps you to eliminate the toxic waste. This is great when you fast and you want to detox. It contains also potassium, amino acids, worms, very rich in worms, just like the ocean. Carrots, the same thing. This is rhodium and iridium, the same thing as this, very good for the brain.
Do you get only the organic one, or do you get only the organic aloe vera?
Well, this is from backyard.
Oh, nice. From your
Yeah,
garden.
I mean,
Very nice.
when you buy
I buy it now, but
when you buy food that has a very hard shell around it, like an avocado or a pineapple, you don't really have to worry about organic or not, because the pesticides they don't really go in.
What about the ones in the ground? They spray everything.
Well, again, when you drink this deactivates all the contaminants. This is boron, and this is all the
Where do we get that
minerals
from?
in ionic state. When you put that in the water, actually, this is good enough. You see the timing? The water is turning yellow. Not too much here. This is better. And this is the alkaline 9 pH water, by the way. It's turning yellow. The yellow is actually the invisible chemicals, toxins, that has been deactivated, like sodium fluoride, that has been converted into negatively charged calcium fluoride, which is now beneficial for you.
Wow.
By putting boron in the water?
I'm sorry?
By adding boron
Yes.
to the water?
This is boron, but also all the minerals from planet Earth in the right proportion for us, which we are freshwater creatures. So when you put 1 teaspoon of this in 1 gallon of water, it deactivates all the contaminants in it. I'm talking about fluoride, lead, mercury, arsenic, and all that. Chlorine, deactivate them. Change positively charged toxins to negatively charged beneficial compounds for you. It also restructures the water, and of course it adds all the minerals in ionic state, angstrom size minerals in the water. Now that's the best water you can drink nowadays. And also lower the pH. If I had a pH meter, I would taste it right now, it would be 6.5 to 6.9, not 9. it regulates, it puts down the normal pH that the water should be, not 9 pH. For the ones that didn't hear what I was saying, a cancer cell is alkaline, a healthy cell is acidic. When you drink alkaline water, you actually feed your cancer cell. You give it more power. So that's something you don't want to do. So by the way, have anybody heard about Nikola Tesla talking about the power of 369? When you understand the power behind 369, you have the key of the universe. When you raise your hand, see if they have an audience.
I
If not-
recognize Tesla, see, he's one of these, it's something about the stock market or something, he became a multi-billionaire or something.
Well, Nikola
Long, long
Tesla,
ago.
he invented a tower machine made of copper that utilized the air to supply energy up to 20 homes. A 10-foot high, just made of copper, that absorbed the energy of the air that we breathe, which is abundant, to supply enough energy for 20 houses, for a whole street of homes. Imagine nowadays living in this technology. Nobody would be making money. And that's the reason why this technology is not existing. Because there are people controlling this planet nowadays that want to make money. We don't have to drive cars on oil. We can drive cars on... I drove around the state on waste vegetable oil for 1 year. I never went to the pump. I traveled the whole country without spending a penny on gas.
But how'd you do that? I'll do that when I go home.
I sucked the waste oil from rations, and I have my own filtration system inside my van, and I purified it, and I use that as fuel. When you have a diesel engine, you can actually run your engine on waste vegetable oil.
It has to be a diesel engine though. You can't
Yes,
make-
it has to be a diesel engine. Then my next car was actually running on hydrogen. So it was hydrogen and fuel. Now I have a Prius, which is hybrid, electric and fuel.
But the government doesn't want you to, I have friends in Georgia who got arrested for running their cars on the vegetable oil. And it's true. And
Yeah.
we have all the ability, but the government cannot make money, and it's
Absolutely.
a true story.
There's a lot of people that suffered because of their knowledge. Some people have been murdered. I don't want to talk like this, it's a little bit too negative, but the government in Greek means control the mind, okay, govern mind. They just want one thing from you. They want you to be sick and stay on those beds for the
But
rest
they're
of your
sick,
life.
so they can make the money.
Yes.
Why are we listening to sick people? It's true.
So
They want to control every breath we take.
that's right. You know, wheatgrass juice, going wheatgrass is going to be illegal. You're going to have to be a doctor to be able to grow your own wheatgrass now. You know you cannot collect rainwater in Colorado. It's against the law. You know they want to privatize water now. Come on.
I know. And the, what do you call it, the GMOs?
Yes.
80% of the vegetables in the United States, I found this out last night, are GMO.
Yes.
It's like, you can't even really go to the health food store and you have to be really sure, you have to really check. That's why they don't want that bill to pass. That you can check and decide which is, they don't want to
Exactly.
label.
Monsanto, who controls all the seed in the world, want to have the monopoly of them. They actually hybrid those seeds so they won't duplicate themselves, so they can control them.
Right.
That means nobody will be able to grow food anymore. But that's okay. Fasting is good for you.
Yeah, you gotta grow
As long
beyond
as
the
you get those
food.
minerals,
Okay,
you're
sorry.
safe.
But you gotta feed your children, so you gotta have real food.
Well,
You
you
want
know-
it to be the best you can get.
Children, they don't like to eat.
No, you're right.
It's always too much food we give them, and we force them to eat. They already know naturally that fasting is good for them. There's other source of energy. Food is only 15% of energy source. The kids, they don't have obstruction. They're just newborn. So give them a chance. Don't put this stuff in the diet. Skip breakfast from them, or give them like an apple or a banana or some food, some living food, some food that goes bad quickly. Because if food doesn't go bad, it's bad for you. Pepperoni that lasts for 1,000 years, you can bet it's going to stay there for 1,000 years. So I'm going to pass on that, but very quickly, so you can maybe think about it. 120, 1 and 2 is 3. If you take two angles, that's 240 degrees. 2 and 4 is 6. And if you go all around, that's 360 degrees. 3 and 6 is 9. I'm sorry, yes, 3 and 6 is 9. 3, 6, 9. Then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oxygen. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 of molecules inside the circle. 12 is 3. And 18 altogether, which is 9. 3, 6, 9, again.
Wow.
And I could go even deeper if you want. I'm going to stop right here. But if you take a 9-sided platonic solid or psychogeometric form and you link them together, you actually get the Star of David, which is linked to the currents, intelligent information of pure clean water that has the sacred geometry form that the body can recognize. Remember, it's not about the food that we eat, it's about the energy in the food that we can assimilate. So if your body doesn't have a structure, you can eat some food, drink current living water that is restructured, and eat a little bit of food, like I do. I mean, the last 3 months I've been eating mangoes. I pick them up from the tree, I climb them, or I throw a rope over the branch and I shake the branch, they won't fall down. I get 50 at a time. That's a week, maybe 2 weeks of food for me that I can share with friends. Mangoes were delicious. Now it's avocado. So that's
What
gonna
if
be
somebody
my next-
invites you for dinner and they have fish or something? Will you eat with them?
I don't eat no. I mean, I do socialize sometimes, not a big deal, but I do feel kind of weird after. I can feel it's there, it's not meant to be there. I feel it, because my body is so clean now. All right, so it takes a great courage, by the way, for a guy to wear a pink shirt, isn't it? It takes even more courage for a guy to show you how to make foods, especially when you're skinny like me. Exactly. All right, so let's get in business. I'm going to show you how to make sunflower pate. Now, why is sunflower? You know, remember Chernobyl? They had this discharge of radiation. You know how they get rid of them? They actually plant sunflower fields all around the plant that actually convert those toxins into something beneficial. Sunflower does that. So when you eat live soaked sunflower, because now it's living, if I take the water out and let it dry, it will actually start to sprout. A tail will come out, it's ready to germinate, it's ready to become something else, sunflower. When I do my sunflower greens, I cut them, I eat them, I throw the tray away in nature, they start to grow again, I get sunflowers. Beautiful. Sunflowers, by the way, contain patterns. They are the same. They are linked to the golden ratio. Nature speaks to you guys. Look at nature. A flower. A flower is amazing.
Oh my goodness.
A flower to me is an antenna that receives the information from the creation, call it God, or the gathering of deities. I can go deeper and talk to you about cosmic numerology, but next time.
You're blowing my mind already. I'm going deeper.
A flower absorbs that
Not the
as an
carry
antenna and send it back to us, an aroma, the smell, which is food as well. Smell flowers, smell the signs of nature, which is beneficial for you as well. All right, let's get down. It's enough talking. So, anybody familiar with Vitamix?
Yeah.
Awesome machine, isn't it?
Yeah.
Vitamix is great because it has this the tamper. You can actually pound the food down. So that means you can create textures like ice cream. Delicious ice cream you can make at home. Very simple. You take a banana, then you peel it off, and you wrap it in plastic film. And you put it in the freezer. The next day you have a hard banana, right? Take the film off, and put it in the blender, cut in pieces, and put some cinnamon in it. No water, or a little bit water. And then you pan it into your Vitamix. You get the best delicious ice cream. Banana cinnamon ice cream. It's cheap food and it's delicious for you. And who doesn't like ice cream, right? You can make yogurt too, very simple. You take you freeze fruits like strawberries or mango, or papaya, or pineapple. And you take an avocado. You put it in the blender, you put the frozen fruits in it, a squeeze of lemon to give the sour taste, just like yogurt, and you blend it. You get yogurt. I make the taste to friends sometimes. My nephews come over and I make them the yogurt. they think it's yogurt, they think it's dairy, but it has no dairy in it.
That is good.
It's amazing what you can do with nature and duplicate what you are used to it, because that's the hard part, is the cravings from the things that we get used to. So this pate will taste like maybe a beef pate, but it's not pate. It's sunflowers with sun-dried tomatoes. Then I'm going to put some spices in it. I'm going to put some chipotle, some cumin. Sometimes I change spices. There's a great spice you can find at Marshall's, Ross, or TJ Maxx. It's from Victoria. And it's called the Herbe de Provence and also the Mesquite Chipotle seasoning. Absolutely amazing. If you put that, I run out of it. But this is some curry powder. And this is a little spicy. This is actually the Victoria Taylor. This is the spice I was talking about. This was Tuscan seasoning that I used for my sprouted lentil soup. I ran out, but I had something to it. This is fenugreek and cayenne with turmeric. Those are very healthy spices, isn't it? And what else? Some pink Himalayan salt. And what else? A bit more water. More. And I got some fresh thyme because it's always time for thyme, right? This is fresh. It has beautiful aromas. You can be creative. You can add rosemary to it, or sage, or oregano. It is very good too. Right? And I'm just going to go pound it. Now this Vitamix, by the way, it's what I use at the restaurant. That was the only one I had, and I used it for 2 years. And I pound it like crazy on it every day. Vitamix is very good, you know. It might be a little bit of investment to start it. My mom bought another one. It was not the same. It was the 5200. This is the Creations. This is like a step above. So she actually burned it one. I burned it actually. I did a pate on hers, but it burned out. And we called the company. It was like a year and a half after she bought it. They say, okay, ship it, we'll send you the label, we'll fix it, and we'll send it back to you for free.
They're very good.
And I was like, might as well put my old container in it. I didn't ask them anything, but I had a container that was broken on the side. So I put it in the Vitamix along with hers, and they sent me back a brand new one. And that's good company, you know?
Yes.
They're very good.
Let me ask you, do you fill out the insurance application for it? For the Vitamix? You have to fill it out. It's rather expensive.
I don't remember. The insurance?
No, it's not insurance, it's just
Warranty. The warranty. I'm sorry,
warranty.
warranty.
No, you don't.
No.
You just give them a
No,
serial number.
they're very good.
Yeah.
They don't care.
Because they know.
I mean, it's good business. Yeah.
Yeah, they track it.
They're
Okay, you ready? Now there's one thing about this recipe is that it has to be kind of dry. So it's kind of hard. I'm going to pound it real hard to kind of get all the ingredients to get into the blade, right? So it's a little hard, but you'll see. You'll see how it goes. So I'm going to start slow because I have variable and high. High is like the maximum speed. So I go variable, mid speed, and I'm going to increase the speed as I go along. I really like the color. Because of experience practice, I know a little bit water. But don't put too much water because then it becomes too liquid. And then you don't have that texture, that consistency of pate. You know? If you do, it's okay. Just add more seeds. Then you get back the texture. It's like art, like a painting. You never go wrong, right? Remember, I forgot something. I'm going to put some carrot in it. Now you know the skin of vegetable is very healthy for you. It contains actually 10 times more nutrients than the vegetable itself. Same thing with lemon. Eat the skin of the lemon. You can peel the skin of the lemon, then peel off the white part and put the lemon in it. Anybody can, everybody okay with honey?
No.
No? Any reason?
Sugar free.
Oh, sugar free, okay. What about you?
Stevia.
I don't do any sugar.
Okay. I'm going to put a little bit. Would that be okay? Okay, now what I'll do is I'll take some out now for you.
No, okay, go ahead.
I insist. This is one of the things you're going to eat today. You want to?
Try both.
And would you be okay with a bit of honey? You want to try it like that?
Thank you.
Anybody else?
I might just take it now because I'm hungry.
Thank you.
Chocolate? Now you're talking. Hey, I'm doing that with a nice shirt and a pantsuit. Guys, no excuses. Give your girlfriend a break and start cooking.
Yes.
So, I'm going to try it. It's been a while I haven't done it. Pretty good, but I didn't put the honey yet, that's why. We put more chipotle. I usually put that spice, the mesquite chipotle, but I ran out of it, so that's why I don't have the same taste as I usually have. Just gonna add some chipotle and more cumin. This is delicious, by the way. So what I'm going to do now is just chop some celery and some onions, and I'm going to put it in this glass bowl and just mix everything together. And I'm going to add some capers. As you know, pâté usually have capers, right? The filet américain. So one way to save yourself some time, you cut the celery on the length, like this, like a few of them. Trust me, when you have a restaurant and you have to feed people quick, you learn how to make it quick. And then you just chop it down. You cut it in half and then you double it. Quite fast. Now, do you think I could be on a TV show? Would that work? That's one of my ideas. You chop some onions. And then you can serve the pâté on red cabbage or on cucumbers. So I'm going to do both, so you guys have an idea. Onions is so powerful, it makes you cry, so you can imagine what it does inside your body, right?
What does it do inside you?
Well, it's just like garlic. It has like it's like a natural antibiotics. It helps, you know, sometimes when you have like too much fermentation, you flatulate highly after you eat garlic, right? There's a reason for it, because it kind of things up. It's like doing a colonic or an enema or something. Can I add the capers? Everybody like capers?
Let me ask you, we use some garlic a lot, and I always believe that raw garlic was the best.
Yeah.
And I started hearing all this controversy
You'll
about
say call
not
register
using
two,
the
please.
raw,
You'll say register two, please.
Right.
Is that true exactly?
Yeah, to some extent. Just don't overdo it because it's so
Yes.
powerful.
Just in moderation, right?
Yeah,
For the
exactly.
brain too. Not really good for the brain.
I heard the white garlic and white onions usually, the red ones and.
I mean, garlic from here is not as strong as the one in Europe. I'm from France, and there's no way you can eat. It's just so powerful. It's like you
burns
eat.
right away, right?
Yeah, it's like you eat wasabi.
Wasabi. Right?
Yeah, seriously.
Is it a different type in France?
I'm sorry?
Like, I mean, the garlic in France?
Yes.
It's
So
not
you can't get it over here?
It's real food.
Same thing with almonds. It's very hard to find unpasteurized almonds. Because every food that comes in this country goes through a certain amount of radiation to pasteurize it. So it's like a flash heat that kills the life force energy in it. So it's very hard to get food that is has vitality. Try to try to grow an almond. Try to sprout an almond that you'll buy at BJ's or Costco, and it's almost impossible.
I'm fed up with it. I really am.
Oh, I forgot to tell you about the last chart on the graph. The voltage, very important. A cell normally resonate at minus 20 millivolts, and to be able to rejuvenate itself, it needs to go up to minus 50 millivolts. Do you see that? It's the violet, the purple color cell rejuvenation. It starts at minus 50 millivolts. So if the body cannot reach minus 50 millivolts, the cell cannot rejuvenate. If the cell is diseased, it will duplicate itself to a diseased cell. And guess what? Mother Nature is going to sense that and can start to recycle you real quick. That's how you get diseased. It accelerates aging process. It accelerates your depletion time. So if you want to be vibrant and have a long, happy life, stay in the zone. Stay in the zone of minus 50 millivolts. And how do you do that? You avoid foods like cheese, because cheese is nothing else than oil that's been cooked at 350 degrees over 5 hours. And when you cook oil for such a long time at such degrees, it turns out to plastic. It's a chemical reaction. It's real. So when you eat plastic food, like junk food, Burger King, McDonald's, that is actually food that doesn't go bad. You saw those burgers that last for 12 years? You can't imagine what it does to your body. It goes around the cell and suffocates it. It's like you put your hands in your mouth, you can't breathe. It does the same thing to the cell. The cell cannot reach minus 50 millivolts. It degenerates. That's how you die, quick. So, and ground yourself. You see the green square? When you ground yourself, you actually get the earth biophotons. And you see on the bottom here, the orange? Cancer and degenerative disease is at plus 20 millivolts. Or you walk barefoot in nature, or you ground yourself in the ground plugs. The best way is barefoot, because the bottom of your feet is actually the best receiver in your body to absorb those negative charged electrons from Earth.
Can you go barefoot in the house and it works? No, you have to go outside.
Outside is better. Tiles is okay.
What if the lawn is sprayed?
I mean, concrete, all that is not really, it's not very conductive.
But they usually put a barrier of plastic. That's why I heard that you work barefoot is around what you do, especially on the beach.
Yeah.
You have negative ions and all
Yeah.
that kind of stuff.
You want to connect directly to the source. So ground yourself to the earth. You walk barefoot in nature, at least an hour a day. There was a very successful man that was building furniture, and he told his employees, if you want to work for me for a long time, you have to take your shoes off when you're on a lunch break and go outside, picnic your lunch. Because if you don't do that, in 10 years, you won't be able to work for me anymore. And he was right. People who worked for him worked for 30 years, 40 years, carrying all those furnitures and building all those furnitures. It rejuvenate. It does work.
I'm confused about what you said about the berries.
The,
Like the fruit, are they bad?
the blackberries,
Like eating,
the blackberries, any food that has like a purple or red color, which is the same color of the blood, is actually building blood food. And that contains antioxidants. So those are very healthy for you. Like pomegranate, acai, beets, you know, all those red foods like grapes. Those are very rich in food that helps the body to create more blood. So that's what you want, red blood, more than white blood cells. That's when you have more white than red, then you're in
I
trouble.
only eat fruits and leafy greens.
You don't eat fruits?
I only eat fruits and leafy greens.
Fruits, wonderful. Leafy greens, great.
But
So
I don't-
you eat the hydrogen from the sun in leafy greens, and you eat the restructured water from the fruits. Because the fruit naturally restructured the water in it. Why is coconut water so good for you? Because it's 120-degree bomb. Nothing else. Nature is amazing. Invite nature to your life, and your body will thank you.
So that's good. I'm doing.
Absolutely.
I'm confused.
Do you cook the leaves?
No, I don't cook it. I just eat it. I also eat mostly mono. So.
That's good. But you say you don't eat sugar, yet you eat fruits. So what's
Well,
with that?
I don't eat like agave or honey or
Okay,
anything.
well, there's good agave, there's bad agave. You know, the one that's made in China, you know, it's not real agave. It's like all the soy. You know, soy. 97% of the crops in soil of soy in the world is actually GMOs. There's no good soy. And when you buy soy product, when you consume soy, you actually participate and contribute into the deforestation of the Amazon, which is the lungs of our air. So avoid soy, it's not good for you first. It's mucus forming foods. Well, that pate looks pretty good.
Yeah.
I think I should put more sun-dried tomatoes in it. Would you be okay with that? Wait like 15 seconds? I'll do it quick. Just I'm used to a more reddish. I'm telling you, it's been a while. But I'm glad to be able to do that again and share it with you guys. It's been a great honor to be here tonight. I'm having fun. I hope you do too.
Yeah, sounds interesting.
I learned a lot today.
Yeah, we want to taste more the sunflowers than the sun-dried tomatoes.
Yeah.
That's great.
Oh, wow. Oh, the hell.
Do you have any questions? Please bombard me with questions. That's what I'm here for.
Well, I was gonna ask you, do you ever try making that for like put on your salad? Like
Oh,
Yeah,
dressing?
absolutely. You can put it
Like
on
the average person
anything you
still
want.
believes sea salt.
I mean, cucumbers, and it's just an idea. Steph, do you know where the piano is?
You put it in your pocket.
Oh, I do.
Very observant.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you were here last time. I do lectures like 4 or 5 times a month. I'm getting into doing more. Actually, Stephanie was at one of my first lecture in Boca at my floor hour. That was about 3 months ago. And she loved everything she heard, and she said, "How can I help you? I want to assist you." I said, "Well, become my assistant then. Call the places and book lectures for me." So she's doing that. In exchange, we meet every Saturday at 2 o'clock, and I give her more information, like a one-on-one type of thing. So she has a notebook, she learned, and we're going to be very creative and doing some things. As far as earthing, we have an idea of bringing more earthing for people. We're going to ground a car radiator, because the radiator is very massive metal that has those lines of metal everywhere. Deep down, 6 foot down in the soil, run with a thick copper wire straight into your bedroom, plant into the barefoot of your feet. It's like walking in the ocean for 8 hours at night.
Wow.
Now that'll be cool, and we're gonna work on that.
Okay, let me take, yes. Is it easier for me to just take her information, or would you? Oh, you don't, okay. Let me give you one of my cards and it has my address on it.
She's serious.
Yeah, I need to
Serious people.
Yeah.
Well, the prill, what they do is they restructure the
And
water.
what's her name
They
again?
create this 120-degree balance.
Susan, okay.
Yeah, this one too.
Oh,
Same
great,
thing.
okay.
And what this does, it raises the vitality to
This is
400,000
my
bodies.
That one does.
email right
the other
here.
doesn't.
Not this one doesn't. And this, in addition of doing that,
I'm
in addition of restructuring the water,
Point Beach.
it deactivates the contaminants in the water. Yeah.
So can you use both of them together?
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah, these
So
are
this
some of
will
the
convert
products
sodium
that I
fluoride into calcium fluoride,
sell.
and
This
to
is a
also
proprietary
provide,
product that I'm
bring the
not
water,
selling.
all the minerals from planet Earth in the same size as
This is
plant-based foods,
water power
which is
equipment.
ionic state or Armstrong size.
What he was talking about that we put in the
So
water.
where do you get the boron?
I'm sorry?
Pearl
The
beads.
liquid that you
No,
put in the
but the
water?
staff right there.
The
See,
bionic
hold it up.
liquid.
Where do
That's
you
what
buy
this
it?
is.
Oh, you buy it from me. I'm the master
okay.
distributor for the company.
Oh,
I'm actually
okay.
a partner of
So
this.
how much is that?
This $85.
$85?
Yeah, it's a 6-month supply.
On that one.
I make my own brand. My own brand is 175, which I sell 150 online.
But the magnesium oxide.
Great guy.
Yeah, this is
Yeah, he does some great
I'm going to
stuff.
sell this $20 online. Today it's going to be,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
sell it for $5.
So how long does it last? How many gallons of
This
water?
lasts, you can do like up to 5 gallons a day, and I would say about for 3 months.
He's the only one in the field that stepped
Yeah.
forward and said, I will give you. I don't know if he gave relief on so much as he
How much
gave.
to a gallon of water?
Oh, you can put this in 1 gallon.
The
So
whole
it's,
container?
yeah, you take 1 bag,
There's a
and you
huge
pour
scandal on it.
the prill beds inside the
I'll look
container.
that up.
Right.
So inside this
In
bottle.
a 1 gallon
So
container?
all the rocks will be on the bottom.
Right.
And that's it, you drink it from there.
What was the scandal?
And you can use
Fill
tap
that 3
water?
times
Yeah, you add
Okay.
water to it,
Okay.
using the
Until
same
they
prill beds up to
dissolve?
3 months.
It was a couple
until they
years
dissolve
ago.
or until?
They won't dissolve.
I bought it about 3 years ago.
So will your
in
first
Nashville.
gallon be stronger than your last
When I
gallon?
moved to
Yeah, and somewhat. They lose their properties, but I mean 3 months is quite a while. So what you can do is buy 2, so you have like always water that's cycling.
You know, but it just, he lost
So
a
you have
ton
1
of
bottle, because it takes
He's really
up to 24 hours to get the full potency of
I
400,000
buy a
bottles.
lot of stuff from him.
Yeah.
So you let the prill beds sit in the water for 24 hours, and then you drink it. So if you have 2 bottles, you can always rotate
He
one.
gives
See
back.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Let me see what happens. I'm just embarrassed.
Well, you guys should go and dig it. If you want to come and grab one, or I don't know if I have any plates.